Are you guys ready for this episode? Because this week we get to install our fridge and I am super stoked about this one. It is freaking gorgeous. You want to see it? Here, 1, 2, whoa! Welcome back, peeps! How you guys doing today? What are you? What? No, we decided we weren't going to do that. Mine's way better. Come on, you gotta agree. Chuck in a box is way better. You're probably just gonna snap your fingers. As a matter of fact, yeah, it was. Oh, come on, man. Let's have some fun. Yeah, but that's way too much work, dude. Cut. Oh my peeps, does today's video ever bring some serious results to this van build we're doing? Can you guys actually see what's going on in that beautiful bokeh of our lens behind me? Stick around because you're gonna. And this video is actually a bit of a milestone for us because, well, about a year and a half ago, we were talking about this exact project and we only had 50 subscribers at the time. 50. And this is what we said. We're going to have a full-size fridge. This is a necessity for me because I like food, if you didn't notice from my belly. And now we're sitting here, as you can see, it's finished behind me, and we just hit 5,000 subscribers. Can you believe that? Thank you everybody for hitting that like, hitting that share, commenting, and of course, hitting that subscribe button. But now that I've showed you that I still got the belly, and we now got the fridge to support this belly, now we gotta start the video from the beginning and figure out how do you showcase such a beautiful object like this fridge. And at this point right now, this box is actually empty. There's nothing inside there. The fridge is already inside ROAMR. And the first 4 times I recorded this before putting the fridge in the van, well, they suck, so I don't know what to say. And honestly, now that it is installed, all I want to do is sit here and stare at it. Because, check it out. What? Let me introduce to you the Isotherm Cruise 200. This is a side-by-side refrigerator and freezer combo offering 150 liters of fridge storage, 50 liters of freezer storage, totaling a whopping 200 liters of coolness, using an average of only 2.3 amps per hour. This unit is fully enclosed stainless steel, uses a high efficiency fan and compressor to stay cool, that can be powered by 110 volt AC, 12 volt DC, and 24 volt DC. Now to get this fridge installed is going to be a very, very easy task. But there was actually some steps that need to be taken a long time ago to ensure that this fridge was going to mount into this spot the way we have it. And for me to share that with you, we actually need to step back in time to when ROAMR still never had any paneling on the walls, because this is when we set up how the fridge was going to sit and where we drilled all the bolt holes into the aluminum framing that needed to be done. So first, we had to assemble a base. So using our 80-20, we put double brackets on each side just for added rigidity. Topped that with a 1/2 inch piece of plywood, and we were now ready to test fit our fridge. So I had to call in my brother-in-law. He helped bring the fridge into the van. I was able then to mark the spots for where the front flange of the fridge mounts to our aluminum framing. Then we pulled that fridge right back out and put it back in the garage so that I could disassemble the framing, bring it into the garage, and drill the holes where we're going to screw through the fridge into the aluminum framing. We were then able to put it all back together again. Another advantage of aluminum, that we can disassemble this and put it back together as many times as we want. And then I had to call over my neighbor because I don't like calling on anybody more than once for a project. So he came over, helped me put it back in there again to ensure those holes that we drilled did line up to the fridge mounting holes. Perfect. Then we pulled it all back out and we did last week's video. But now that you have that knowledge, we're ready to go back to present time and we're ready to install our fridge in for the 3rd and final time. It will be permanent after this step right here. But to get it installed today, I need to find a friend. And let me tell you that life works in mysterious ways sometimes. Because while I was in my office last night, making the last week's video you guys already watched, I was also thinking, who the heck and how the heck are we gonna get this fridge into the van? And I ended up getting a message from somebody I have not seen in years. His name is Artie. Say hi, Party Artie.
Hi.
I will say, Winston definitely is happy that Party Artie's visiting again. And let me tell you something about Artie. This boy right here has some frickin' muscles on him. Show him your muscles, Artie. Look at those pipes. What? The perfect combination for getting that fridge into the van. And, well, Artie's just a cool cat. I actually call him Party Artie because Artie likes to party. Do you like to party, Artie?
Yes.
Oh, and then while we were sitting here talking, Artie actually told me he had a cat. I didn't even realize this. Could you imagine a guy by the name of Party Artie? What would you think his cat's name would be? Artie, what's your cat's name?
Has no name.
What? That? I was expecting Marty for Party Artie. I don't know, what were you guys thinking? Wow. So, if you've been following along our journey, you know that this is the spot that we've made to fit our fridge into. And you'll also know that we've already run our 12-volt wire behind the wall to the spot for the fridge. And this is just a positive and a negative. And we've also run the wire for one 10-volt, which is a 3-wire 12 gauge, so that the fridge has one 10-volt and 12-volt available to it. But when I set this up, I had put it in here, and we were just gonna put a plug in like this that you'd have at your house. But the problem is, my screen is really dirty. That's what the problem is. But the real problem is that typically in all my RVs that I've had, they've been 3-way fridges that had propane, AC power, and DC power. Of course, this fridge is only AC or DC, but I still assumed it would have had a switch on it that I could switch from AC power to DC power, depending on what I wanted. But that's not the case. This fridge unfortunately has no switches, and it picks itself whether it wants to run on one 10-volt or if it runs on 12-volt. And from what I understand, the default is that if it has one 10-volt power to it, that is what it'll automatically go to. And we don't want that. I want it to run off 12-volt all the time, and the 110-volt really is just a selling option to say that if we sold the van, it does run off 110-volt. So here's what we did about that. Instead of putting a plug into here, I'm gonna run the wire out the side of the wall here, and we'll mount it to a switch like this, so that if you actually did want to run that fridge off 110, you can just turn it on, and with the inverter on, it'll run off of 110. And then on the 12-volt, which we labeled fridge, we just crimped on these quick connectors, which we'll be able to plug into the male end of those connectors that I've attached to the fridge. And with all that said, it's just time for myself and Party Artie to get this thing inside the van. Now, as I install this fridge, I'm not gonna be able to give you a lot of camera angles on it because this fridge weighs about 80 pounds. Is really awkward to try and carry. The wind out here is going absolutely haywire again. Like 2 weeks straight, this wind will not stop. It's getting annoying. So I'm gonna leave you sitting right here, and me and Artie are gonna bring this thing into the van. No! Hold on, stop. Okay, I'll hold it with my knee. Oh, back up a bit. Get it? Ooh, that scared me, buddy. You scared me. Okay, I'm gonna step up. There she is. She's in. It freaking fits even.
Yep.
What? You guys, just wait till you see this. Actually, you probably can see it already, can't you? I'm just fooling myself on this one. What? Oh shit, I should have painted that. Oh shit. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that.
Yep.
I'll bet ya. Hold on, it came with spare parts that I thought were just spare. Because it comes with this thing, and I knew it was for the base, but I figured it's for like a floor mount model. But it's because when you open these doors, you guys aren't gonna really see anything anyways. Like, how do you know how I'm gonna explain this? When you open these front doors, it's open that whole section, which means you see the base below it, which I'm not gonna push the fridge back in and show you. You just gotta understand. So we're gonna take this piece. It has 2 screw holes like that on that side. And you'll see the fridge has 2 screw holes on the other side. So I'm gonna attach this real quick and then we'll slide that fridge back in place. I'm in. You're in. We're all in. And that, oh yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. Bet you guys want to see, don't you? Tell you what, let me put these screws in that we pre-drilled all these holes into the aluminum we spoke about. And if that works out, then I can show you everything. Sound like a plan? Cross your fingers that this is gonna work. All we gotta do is pre-drill in through the wood paneling now. And we just drive our screws straight into those holes that we put into the aluminum. And now, look how good this looks. And I'm gonna guarantee you, being screwed into the aluminum behind all this, there's no way that fridge is ever going anywhere. So now that everything worked out for us, it's time for the ultimate test. So we're gonna take our fridge wire, we're gonna plug it into our battery, and once I plug in this, we should hear that compressor turn on if everything is wired properly. Ready?
It's working.
It just turned on, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Here. Can you guys hear that? See? You can hear it. If you guys had feel-o-vision, you'll be able to feel a slight breeze coming off it. And of course, if you look in behind, you can see we got a good gap between the wall and the fridge, all the way from top to bottom. So we know we're not going to have any ventilation issues either. But my friends, that is our fridge installed. Yay! So now, let's give it some time. Let's see if it actually gets cold, because that's probably the most important part, right? Anything can make noises. Words are cheap. It's the actions that mean something. And I should comment as well, if you are looking for this fridge, good luck. There will be no Amazon link. I will put the Isotherm website there so you can look at the fridge and the specifications and all that. But I planned for this like 2 years ago. I built the spot for it and everything. And when I went to order here a few months ago, I could not find one anywhere. I did finally find one in the US. I'll list that again below, but they only had one and that was it. And according to Isotherm, they didn't know when the next production run was gonna be. So I'll tell you, I planned for this and it definitely scared the living bejesus out of me because there's not another fridge that's the exact same size as that, and we fully committed to the build. But now, I have another question for Party Artie, and I have a feeling you guys might have the same question I do. Artie, question for you. If you say your cat has no name, what do you call it when you call it?
Brad?
Did you have fun at the Dares Drive shop today?
Yeah.
Would you want to come back?
Yes.
If there's one thing you could tell the people that are watching on here right now, what would you tell them?
Subscribe.
Yeah! What do you guys think? You think we should invite Artie back more? He's a pretty cool cat, isn't he? So, if you haven't subscribed yet, what the heck are you waiting for? If you have subscribed, thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe hit that bell, and we will see you on the next video.